Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reds Room. Now, this is going to be kind of a special episode. Um, as most of you know, or probably everybody in the world knows at this point, this is about the middle of March 2020, um, and the first time in what I'd call the technology age of the world. We're in the middle of, for lack of a better term, a pandemic. Um, Hopefully, we're going to get things under control, but for most of us, we're just sitting in our homes. Some of us are lucky we can still go to work and perform our jobs. Some folks, especially small businesses, some very dear friends of mine, um, you know, are having to close their businesses um, temporarily until we can move past this. And as a country, United States, we're making a lot of sacrifices so we can hopefully get past this as quickly as possible. But like I said, most of us we can't do anything. We're not quarantined to our homes, but we're essentially can't do anything. We can't leave our homes because there's nothing to do. You can't go bowling. You can't go to the theater. You can't go to the casino. You can't go out to eat. Unless you take it to go. At least as of right now, that's the way it is. So there's nothing to do. We can't watch sports. Obviously, this is a sports memorabilia related or not service, but video that I provide on a monthly basis, and you know, so sports is very dear to all of us. It's very dear to a lot of people in this world. We don't even have that for the most part right now. So, what I'm trying to do here is, as much as I can, I'm going to try to put out special episodes of what I guess I'll term as my Reds Room. I'm going to show you items from my personal collection and hopefully just entertain you. What else do you have to do? Just listen to my voice, my nasally voice, as I talk about some items that mean a lot to me that are pieces of my collection, obviously. So they must mean something to me. I like them, and we'll try to make the best of this. Um, you know, it's a very tough time, and special shout out to my good friend Mark Fugate. We all know him in the Cincinnati area, who runs Sports Gallery in Cincinnati area. So he's going to have to close his doors for a while, and we had several conversations with him. I have personally with him recently, and I'm telling you, folks, he was really looking forward to having all these upcoming signings and autograph events for everyone. And I know it's devastating for him. The amount of work he put into putting that on for you, and now all the work he has to do to hopefully even be able to bring it to you. And he and his family are having to shut down the store. It means a lot to me, and I'm not a real emotional person, but I can get a little emotional on it. So I don't want to go on about it, but just keep Mark and his family and everyone in this country and everyone in the world in your thoughts and prayers. And let's just hope we can all stick together, regardless of race, religion, or politics. Hey, we get together, United States, America, we overcome things like this, and we'll get past this too. So, enough about that. Let's get into this memorabilia here. So, what I want to kind of show you today, or on this episode, I just want to kind of show you some things that I have that are from the 1975-76 World Series, where the Reds, obviously defeated the Boston Red Sox in 7 games, and the following year in '76, they turned around and defeated the Yankees in a 4-game sweep. I mean, there's a ton of memorabilia out there, as all of you know. I mean, the Big Red Machine era, those 2 years. I know for a long time that was the last time, I know at least the National League team won back-to-back World Series. I still don't think it's happened. I don't know. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, in the Facebook group, Cincinnati Reds Memorabilia Collectors. So it's still quite an accomplishment. And, the 75 World Series, even today, with all the great World Series we've even had over the last decade or two, is still held as, the most popular, most liked, and most famous World Series ever. So, hey, there's plenty out there, but I'm going to show you a few items I have here today. I'm going to start with this here. Some of you are probably familiar with this. This is a stool from the what says 1975 World Champions, and I believe this was either come from the Cincinnati Post, and I'm trying to see if there's a date on it. October 23rd, 1975, Thursday evening. I believe the Post, the Inquirer was the morning paper, and I believe the Post was the evening paper. I'm from Dayton, Ohio, so I'm not super sure on that, but I believe that is to be the case. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. And I believe this came, these pictures where you see these like headshots of where you see the Big Red Machine plus Gullet, Billingham, Nolan, Norman, some of the pictures on there, along with Sparky Anderson. I believe this was like from a newspaper they put out that day, a special edition of some sort. And I've seen this particular image on many different items, mugs, ashtrays, other ceramic things. I think I even seen it on a t-shirt once. I don't know. But this is a stool. A lot of people like these. They're fairly rare. I don't see very many of these anymore. I'm going to bring it up here. I'll kind of so you can see the legs there. Still got the original manufacturer under here. Looks like Gilbert and Ryan Incorporated. Yeah. So now, before I get into a value on this, I kind of want to say something about mine. I've seen these sell probably in the $150 to $300 range because they can really vary, in the condition. I mean, I've seen these torn. Usually I see the legs are scratched, beat up. Sometimes the legs are even missing. They can be really discolored or whatever. But you can see this one is in mint, absolute mint shape. I'm a bit of a condition snob on a lot of things. So this one, as you can see, is really white. It's red. There's no tears. The legs are perfect shape. And I'll even add one more thing. I still have the plastic bag that this came in and the original box. So you combine all that, and I would say this particular one, if you could even find one that even comes with the original box and everything. I don't have the box here out. It's in storage. But I would put a value of this at right around $500. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but 500 I think is a nice safe number on it. If you can find it in this condition with the boxing, like I said. I believe, I've had this quite a while. I believe I bought this from, and I apologize for name dropping, but I believe I bought this from Joe May at Planet Collectibles in northern Kentucky. I believe he owns the shop now. I don't think he did at the time though. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I just remember he was he was working there at the time, and I bought it from him. I don't know how many. I've had it for quite a few years. So, but I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces. When people get to see my collection, this always stands out to them. They like seeing this, and it's a great piece. So if you never find one, like I said, pick one up. Hopefully you can get a good deal on it. I don't know. So moving on, we have this here, and this is just a champagne bottle, unless you have this little certificate, which I'll show you a little close-up of that here in just a moment. But this bottle was part of the celebration from the 1976 World Series. Now, I have a similar bottle. It's the same. Forgive me, I can't speak French, so I can't really say Veuve Clicquot Pon Sardine. I don't know. I don't speak French. But the same champagne bottle, or same, I should say, I don't know, company made the bottles for the 1990 World Series as well. The label was a little different because so many years had passed, but it was the same, it was the same company, same brand name. I've added the cork just for aesthetic purposes, visuals, to make it look good. I mean, obviously the cork would have been popped way back when they celebrated with it. But these came from the locker room. And here, like I said, really, if you don't have this certificate for these particular bottles, and even the 1990, if you don't have the red certificate, then really all you have is the bottle. So, because I don't know, I don't think these were exclusive just to the Reds. I don't know if they made these just for the Reds. They could have. I don't know. But as far as I know, anybody could go to this company. It's probably it might be an expensive wine. It says 1772 to 1972, so apparently they've been around potentially a long time. But I'll read this little certificate to you as I bring it up on the screen here. It says, it's basically a collector certificate, as you see. It says Cincinnati Reds, 580 Gift Shop, Cincinnati, Ohio. Of course, everyone remembers, well, if you're old enough, you remember the 580 Gift Shop. It says, this is to certify that the contents of the enclosed champagne bottle, and there's that French name again, and I'm not even going to embarrass myself a second time, was used in the Cincinnati Reds celebration of their 1976 World Series championship. The Reds beat the New York Yankees in 4 straight games, winning the final game 7-2 in Yankee Stadium on October 21st, 1976. This bottle was one of only 48 being made available to collectors. Okay, so that is that. And it says there's 48. I heard they kept some, at least one, maybe 2 of these cases. Don't know if the Reds have kept any more. I've not seen 48 bottles. I know of maybe 3 or 4 others that exist. But apparently they made 48. I know I bought this. I had a conversation briefly with because sometimes I forget where I get things, We all do, I think. But I believe I bought this from Nick Hines, who was also in the group. He doesn't quite remember where he got it from. I suggested, I think he may have got it from Sports Gallery. I don't really remember. I have seen these sell multiple times in the private world, not necessarily like, in a store or in an auction or anything. I've seen these exchange hands privately for $1,000 many times. I mean, at least half a dozen times. So maybe you could get a better deal. I don't know, but I'm just telling you, these sell for $1,000 routinely. Again, without the paper, you got a $10 bottle. I don't know, it might even be trash. Got to have this paper, otherwise it's not worth anything. So, great item. If you can ever come across one, like I said, there's also the 1990 bottle that looks very similar and would come with a certificate. The other certificate looks a little different than this because the Reds had different certificates in 1990. But still, if you can find those, check them out. Make sure you try to get one if you can. Now, the next item I don't have displayed out here, but I want to kind of turn and show you. This is a 1975 flag that came from Riverfront Stadium. Now, there's a little bit of story that I'm going to give you on this. It's basically the information I got on it. It has, you probably won't be able to see it in the picture. It has some staining on it. It has a little bit of tatter. If it flew at Riverfront, it didn't fly for very long. I have flags that have flown for a full season, or I've seen flags also that have flown for a full season. They're much more tattered than this one is. So either this one only flew shortly, or it could have just hung like out underneath the walkway. It could have hung, underneath in whatever, under the bowels of the stadium, so to speak. I don't really know. What I do know is that it came from one of the Reds' minor league team owners. I'm not sure, so I don't know if it's AAA, AA, whatever. I think I know, but I'm not going to throw that out there because I don't know for certain on that. But I bought this flag recently at from a big auction house online. Actually, Jay McCollum and I went in on this auction because it came with I think the 1956 Sports Illustrated magazine. It has Gus Bell, Wally Post, Ted Kluszewski, is it Roy McMillan? I don't know, on the cover. Amazing magazine, was signed. But we went in on this, and he wanted the magazine, I wanted the flag. And so this is kind of a recent pickup for me. Of everything you see, I'm going to show you, this is the most recent. Now, I happen to know where this originally came from, and hopefully I don't make him mad, but it originally was in the collection of Mo Ryan. Just a fantastic collection this man had. Me and Mo are friends. I've been to his house many times. He's come to mine many times. You know, Mo's been very cordial to me. We get along really well. But I seen this when he first started selling off his collection several years ago. I had the fortune of being able to go in, and you know, he kind of let me see some things. I bought a few things. Well, he had this flag sitting there, and I remember I looked at him. I said, "Man, Mo, I love that flag." You know, well, and he loved it too. Obviously, I mean, it jumped at me. I knew it was a special piece. Well, he wasn't quite sure then. He's like, I don't know, I don't know what I want to quite do with that. He didn't know what it was worth. And hey, look, I totally understood it, so I didn't pressure him about it. I just kind of moved on, and I just said, hey, whatever you do someday, and I suggested maybe even, just keeping it and just loaning it to the Reds Hall of Fame or whatever. And, but he was retiring, and he had his dreams and things he wanted to do. And here several years later, well, he put it up with the auction house, and I'm very thankful to own it. And if Mo gets a chance to watch this video, I hope you know I'm very, very happy to own it, and it's in a good collection, and it'll be here for a long time. So, but anyway, it says 1975, world champs on it. It's double-sided. It's very heavy. It's very thick. I don't even know what type of material it's. Boy, I don't know. It's almost like, it's not a canvas, but it's something really close to canvas. I don't know much about, unusual materials or whatever, but, maybe it did fly. Maybe this material was special made where it could fly for a long time. But something like that, me personally, I would value it right around the $2,000 mark. I think that is, a reasonable price, and considering it just sold recently, I think that's right on the button. So $2,000 for something like that, I think over time that will even increase in value. So great item. I love this. It's something new to my collection, so I'm very, 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 very happy to own it. Sorry. Now, the last thing I have here, I got to tell you, I've never seen one like this one. Very special. This is a 1975 Cincinnati Reds World Series Game 3 used baseball. Okay. So this one's a little special. And as you see on it, I've got the Reds 580 Team Shop COA. This is one of 12 that they took out of that game. They sealed them up in bags with the little 580 Gift Shop COA inside of the bag. Now, I've seen these from other games later in the 70s. I think this is maybe one of the first times they did this. Some people have told me there might have been some from the regular season in 75, but I know these were among some of the first balls, game-used balls, that they ever certified and put out. So, I've seen them, like I said, from the later 70s just in the regular season, but you can almost always bet the bag has been cut open or the bag is missing and all it has is a COA. So the thing is, if you ever get these and you ever see them, you want the bag to be sealed. You want the COA to still be inside of it. That adds tremendous value because it means it's never been tampered with and you know the ball is legit. Okay, so that's a big deal. Now, for me, this game was so special. The Reds won. Reds won that game 6-5 in 10 innings over the Red Sox. Johnny Bench, Cesar Geronimo, and Dave Concepcion hit home runs in that game. Now, this isn't one of those home run balls. This is just a game-used ball from that game. But for those that know me, they know, hey, I'm a huge Concepcion collector. So just to have a ball from that World Series game where my favorite all-time player, Dave Concepcion, hit a home run, I love it. So this piece, you know, it doesn't like display real pretty, and it just kind of sits in a little small section in my room, and you would glance right over it and not realize what's in this little cube. But it's an amazing, it's on a Chubb Feeney ball, you know, official National League ball. And it's just amazing. And again, like I said, I'll try my best here to show you that little COA. That's really hard to see through the plastic. I mean, you can read it if it's up close, but you know, it's just an amazing ball. I would value this at an auction. I would see it at least going for $2,000. And I think that's being conservative. I really think it could go, you know, even quite a bit higher. I don't know. I mean, I actually was able to buy this from Jason Walters, who was a prominent member in the group, and very happy to own it. I mean, you know, Jason knows that. You know, we talked about it for a while, and I was very happy that it fell into my collection. So just a great piece. I've never seen another from that 75 World Series. I mean, they say there's 12. This is the only one I've seen. And I even wonder if the other 11, if they do exist still, even are still in the bag, unopened with that COA. So just a great piece. Love it. Love it. If you're ever able to see my collection in person, you would easily skip right over that and not even realize what's in that little cube sitting on a shelf. So that's it, folks. I hope you like these 75, 76 World Series items, related items. That's all I have for you now. I'm going to do my best to, you know, bring you, if I can, a video a week, if time and everything permits. You know, just to try to kill some of this boredom. We're all bored. You know, we're all going stir crazy. And hopefully this gives you something to do, and I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to talk, discussion. I'm always willing to discuss in the comments with you about things. But other than that, I do want to say this before I go. The regular videos will still be posting on the first Monday of every month at 8 p.m. These little special episodes I'm doing, you know, I'll just post them randomly here and there, and you know, so these don't really have any schedule, but the other stuff will still stay on schedule. So thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, happy collecting, everyone.